Welcome into today's show, Saints fans. I'm your host, Trace Girouard. And for today's episode of Saints Now by Chat Sports, I'm going to be predicting each of the games on the 2023 schedule for the New Orleans Saints. And I'm going to give my record prediction on whether or not it's a win or a loss. So without further ado, let's just give you a quick reminder real quick and break down or, run through the schedule for 2023 in the New Orleans Saints. Week 1 versus the Tennessee Titans. You get Derek Carr's Saints debut at home, at the Dome, which is great. Week 2, you got Monday Night Football at Carolina with the Panthers and Bryce Young. Week 3 at Green Bay. You don't have to travel Lambeau to the cold, which is nice. Week 4 versus Tampa Bay in New Orleans. And then you travel to New England and Houston to take on the Patriots and Texans. You get back to you get back home, take on Jacksonville and Thursday Night Football, and then you travel to Indy to take on possibly Anthony Richardson and the Indianapolis Colts. And then in Week 9, you invite Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears and Matt Eberflus's team, who had a lot of additions this offseason. Week 10, you travel to producer Seeps' Minnesota Vikings, and you have to take on that team that's probably one of the bigger rivals that you have that isn't inside of your division. And then you have your bye in Week 11, which is in a great spot, I would say. Week 12 at Atlanta. Week 13 versus Detroit. Jamal Williams gets to play his former team. And then you have to bring in Carolina, New York, travel to the Rams for Thursday Night Football. Then you travel to Tampa, and then you finish the season at the Dome versus the Dirty Birds. So, Saints fans, you tell me, what's your confidence level in the Saints right now? Scale it for me, 1 to 100. Just let me know. 1 meaning, I don't know, I'm not that confident. It's not going to be a good season. 100 being they're winning 17 games in the regular season. They're going to go win the Super Bowl without fail. So let me know, and I'm excited to see what you guys have to say. All right, so for Week 1, the matchup, it's Tennessee Titans at the New Orleans Saints. It's going to be a very fun game, and I'm excited to see Derek Henry, Tajay Spears return to Louisiana. But I will say this, I got the Saints winning that game in Week 1. You're going to start off the season 1-0, and I can't wait to get this season started. And Derek Carr, I love that he's starting off his career with New Orleans at the Dome. I think it just makes too much sense. It makes sense, and it makes it easier for him to succeed long term. I don't know, it's just fun to have him at the Dome. Week 1. Week 2, you do have the Carolina Panthers. You go travel for Monday Night Football. That's going to be a really interesting game because Bryce Young, he's probably going to be starting. I don't know why he wouldn't be, but if he isn't, then you take on Andy Dalton. And, the Carolina Panthers, I'm not going to sit here and say they're a great team, but they're a team that made a lot of interesting moves this offseason. I definitely think their coaching staff got a lot better, but I think the Saints are going to win this one. 2-0, hot start. I absolutely love it, and that's why I'm going to have the Saints go win this game. So let's get to Week 3. You travel to Lambeau Field. This is a big thing. You did take on the Packers, I believe 2 years ago in Week 1. You traveled to Lambeau. You avoid the cold here. That is one of the biggest things about all of this. You avoid the cold. You avoid the bad weather. Just of note, all of the games except for the primetime games for the Saints right now are scheduled for noon. So, you're going to have a lot of noon kickoffs. It's going to be decent weather, I would assume. So you don't have to play Green Bay in the cold at Lambeau. Jordan Love, maybe he's a rookie quarterback. That gives you some trouble, but I think the Saints can win that one starting off 3-0. Why not? Let's get this thing going, guys. Like this video if you are excited for some New Orleans Saints football. I know I am so pumped. I know I can't wait. I'm going to be doing watch parties this entire season. I'm going to be breaking down news, rumors, game coverage, all sorts of fun stuff. Like this video. This season's going to be awesome. Last season was fun despite not having the greatest, record. I still had a lot of fun covering the team, so I know I'm going to like this video from my personal account, and I hope that you do as well. Week 4, you get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. The Bucs are in a weird position because they are very high up there in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, I would say. I truly do believe that the Bucs could be a team that goes and is competing to lose a lot of games towards the end of the season. You got Baker Mayfield as your starting quarterback. Kyle Trask also out there. I don't think that they're going to be a good team this year. You lost Tom Brady. A lot of pieces are just it just seems like the Bucs maxed out their mojo and their good juju when they had Brady with the team. I think the Saints are going to win this one, starting off 4-0. Whoo! That is fun, and that is hot. And then you have to take on the New England Patriots, at Gillette Stadium. That's going to be a tough one. I actually think that the Patriots might give you a little bit of trouble here. I know Mac Jones isn't the best quarterback we've ever seen. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Drew Brees. He's not one of these amazing quarterbacks yet. But I think that they will be a better team. I think their offense will be a little bit better. And at the end of the day, Bill Belichick is still a good coach. And you can't win them all. I think that this is one you just kind of let slip between the cracks. You lose this one 4-1. Still not a bad start. But then you have to continue your road travels to Houston. You take on C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, DeMeco Ryans, and the new Houston Texans. They did a lot of fun moves. They did a lot of good things this offseason to rejuvenate and, re-excite their fan base. But I still think that the Saints are going to win that one. They're the better team. And if you remember that week 1 matchup on Monday Night Football a handful of years ago when they, kicked a field goal to go walk off and win, I mean, unbelievable. That was a fun game. I think this will be another fun one, but I got the Saints winning this one. No problem. Guys, lock us in. We're going to have watch parties and game day coverage all season long. So be sure to lock us in. Be sure to subscribe. It's all live coverage. We also have game day breakdowns, post-game recaps, pre-game previews, all sorts of fun content for you. It's all interactive. And the best part about it, 100% free. We're trying to hit 15K as you see below me. We're currently at 14,258. So help us out. Subscribe, turn on your notifications, and get the best Saints coverage on YouTube. All right, so at week 7, you do get Thursday Night Football versus Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I will sit here and say this. I think that Trevor Lawrence is one of the best quarterbacks that you have to take on this year. The Saints quarterbacks that you have to play, it's Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing good quarterbacks this year. So I think that this is a team or a game that definitely watch out for. I am going to give the Jags this one. Don't get mad at me. I'm going to give the Jags this one. You got to lose some of them eventually. And also, the Thursday night curse with Prime, Amazon. It wasn't good last year. I'm just going to take it as a loss. And then in week 8, I have you beating the Indianapolis Colts. You're at 6-2. You take on Anthony Richardson, more than likely. I assume he would be starting by week 8. I think that the Colts, they got better, but they still have a long way to go in terms of getting to where they want to be for the long term. And so that's why I got to say, guys, I'm going to give us a win here. But we also have Saints jerseys. We have all sorts of great jerseys. We got Derek Carr. We got Cam Jordan. We got, Taysom Hill, Tyrann Mathieu. We still got Drew Brees. Those jerseys ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Brian Brzee, any of them. If you wanted Saints jersey, we got you covered. Chatsports.com/Saints jerseys. I'll have that link for you in the comment section and in the description of today's video. Go get geared up and swagged out. All right, so in week 9, you bring the Bears into New Orleans. I actually have the Saints losing this game. I think that this is a game that the Saints could overlook. I think that the Bears did get a lot better. Their defense, significantly better. They got very busy in free agency. They had the most money to spend going into NFL free agency out of any team across the NFL, and they were active. They also went and had a pretty good draft. They were aggressive. They added pieces that they needed, so I think that they could be a better team. This could be another game that they slip through the cracks, but through week 9, you're 6-3. I don't think that's that bad. Week 10. Here's the one that's going to make y'all mad. And I'm sure producer Seatman loves this. I'm sure he saw this graphic right here. Was like, wow. He literally just said in my ear, I am shocked. I mean, here's the thing. The Saints haven't been able to beat the Vikings for no reason. I don't know why. I don't get it. Seeps, sorry, man. Or, congrats, man, I guess. You win this one. I don't know why. I don't want them to win. It felt like I needed to add another loss in here whenever I was doing this record prediction, but I think the Saints might lose this one. At Minnesota, Kirk Cousins at noon is pretty good at that time, I would say. But let me know, who dat nation. I don't think by any means the Vikings is going to be the toughest game of the season, but I do think it is going to be a hard one. So I want you to let me know, who do you think is going to be the toughest game for the Saints in 2023? Comment down below and share your thoughts. I can't wait to see what you got to say. All right, in week 12, you travel, unfortunately, to Atlanta. Like this video if you hate the Falcons. I hate the Falcons. Type FATL, type F the Falcons. Y'all know the drill. I got you winning. There's not much to say. F the Falcons. The Falcons suck. I will never do a record prediction video and give the Falcons a win. I just refuse to do it. I don't care how bad this team is, and I don't care how good the Falcons are. They will never get a win in any of my record prediction videos against the Saints. Sorry about it. That's just a principle of my life that I'm going to live. So, get over it if you don't like it. Week 13, Detroit. They travel to New Orleans. You get to get a Jamal Williams homecoming game, or not homecoming, but, team revenge game, if you will. And I think that could be a fun one. The Lions, they're not a bad team. They're the favorite to win the NFC North. They're going to be scrappy this year. Dan Campbell has been doing work. He added C.J. Gardner-Johnson as well to that defense, so you're going to get to have him back in the dome, and I think that that's going to be electric. I expect this one to be a really high-scoring game, and I expect the Saints to walk out eating some W's. You're sitting at 8-4 through Week 13. And around then, we're going to be talking about playoffs. We're going to be talking about whether or not the Saints are in playoff contention or they can still make it. So what say you? Will the Saints make the playoffs in 2023? They didn't make it this past season. They didn't make it the season before. So I need you to let me know. Type Y for yes. Type in for no. All right, so in Week 14, you bring in the Carolina Panthers. That's going to be a tough one. I really feel like the Panthers, for some reason, they always give the Saints a tough time. They always give them, give them a little hell. They're always a little scrappy. So I think that the Saints are going to lose this one. Again, you got to have a divisional loss somewhere. I would say, I think the Panthers are a team that you may, let one slip up. I don't know. Seeps is booing me in the ear. Please. Boo me. He's saying we're going to beat the Panthers. I know they're going to beat the Panthers. Boo me in the comments. But, again, you can't win every single game. Sorry. Don't shoot the messenger. I mean, I guess I am the messenger, and I wrote this. Shoot me if you want. I mean, just boo me in the comments. I don't care. Anyway, Week 15, revenge game for the New York Giants at the Dome. You're walking out of there with another W because if you remember, it was, I believe, 2 years ago, the Giants' overtime loss that was just so frustrating. You had the lead and you blew it. I'm getting a revenge game. You're at 9-5 going through Week 15 and then headed into Week 16. I got you taking down those absolute frauds, those cheaters out in L.A., the guys who get bailed out by Roger Goodell in the Los Angeles Rams. I got you beating them like we did last year at the Dome. I was at that game with my dad in New Orleans this past season. It was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had. It was my first and only Saints game I've actually been able to go to, so I'm trying to get out to another one this year. I don't know if it'll happen, but this was a fun one. I'm always going to look forward to this matchup just because of the history, and now I have a personal tie to it because, me and my dad. I got you winning this one. You're at 10-5 in Week 16. Week 17, you travel to Tampa Bay. The reason I have you losing this one is, I don't know whether or not the Saints are going to be playing all their starters at that point. I really think at this point in the season, with how bad the division is, I think you almost have a playoff spot, not locked up, but you're there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that could just be one that maybe they win. Just, they can walk out of the season. The Bucs can walk out of the season with some pride. And, again, I had to give them a loss somewhere. I'm sorry. I had to. But I'm not going to give them a loss in this one. I'm just never going to do it. I'm never going to do it. Not even once. Doesn't matter if they go and trade for Lamar and then bring in all these amazing football players, get D-Hop, I don't care. I do not care. They can build a time machine and get Tom Brady and Drew Brees, have a baby, and make the greatest football player of all time. I'm still not going to have the Saints lose that game. But who do you think, or what do you think the record will be for the New Orleans Saints in 2023? I need you to predict it for me. My final prediction, 11-6. I think the highest you can go, when I first did it, I had them actually winning 13 games, but again, I'm prepared to be on ice cold takes. I'm fully aware that I will probably end up on freezing cold takes for one of these games, but 11-6, you win the NFC South, you get back to the postseason, and honestly, I think you do a little damage and you make some noise in the postseason as well. Saints fans, I would love to hear what you guys have to say, and I can't wait to see what your score prediction or your record predictions are as well. Y'all stay golden. We'll catch you next time. See you tomorrow.